the Aura's player is able to go turn 1 Selfless Savior into turn 2 Core or Shrem, it is a big way to kind of go. Another thing is the opponent is on blue-white auras. Blue-white tends to be able to gain
I'm in.
All right, awesome. So we got Grixis back. So we see a Maul out of the Aura's player. A little bit awkward mana situation here. We see the Glacial Fortress and the Pathway, and we only have a Selfless Savior. Selfless Savior is something you want to pair, but I think this is something you keep. A big thing with this Aura's deck is they're able to get, at times, a very big lifelinker out that will be quite a bit headache for the mono red deck. Are you there, Grixis?
I am, yeah. So
Awesome.
I'm stuck on push to talk, so I have to just remember to push the button.
Alrighty. So a bit of an interesting burn list. We see a lot of 1-ofs and 2-ofs in the deck, like 2-of Gitu Lava Runner, 1 carry Zev Skyship Raider, a fun of Torbran, some Chain Whirlers, which actually isn't terrible in this matchup, getting rid of the protection stuff, like the dog, some Bomat Couriers, a Hazoret, and Bomat Courier turn 1 is probably one of the best draws we see out of this. In terms of burn, we have 4 Shocks, 4 Lightning Strike, 4 Wizard's Lightning for reach, as well as a couple Bone Crusher Giants. And a card that I'm really interested to see how it performs here is 4 Den of the Bugbear. This is one of the creature lands out of Adventure to Forgotten Realms. 4 mana makes a goblin creature, turns into a goblin creature that then kind of impressions a Legion War Boss, making more goblins.
The card is sweet. I really like all the creature lands. I just yesterday the black one in limited completely ruined my day.
I'm a fan of creature lands in formats, just giving more utility to decks, especially these creature-based decks that, you know, if they get hit a couple times, they're just going to kind of fall down. So this is an interesting turn. So we see them go on the Selfless Savior with the Cartouche. So the nice thing about the Cartouche here is it gives a second body that the Selfless Savior can protect. And notably, this body has Vigilance. So if you throw on a Sentinel's Eye, if you throw on all that glitters, it can buff up
it's really nice. Any Vigilance, anything that says Vigilance in this deck is super, super efficient.
Yeah, being able to pressure and defend at the same time is massive. So we see highlighting here. See, this is a wrong play, in my opinion, because targeting the dog means this 1/1, like, you fizzle it. They sacrifice you, they gain protection. So they're willing to trade the Bomat Courier for this 1/1 here. The 1/1 notably has Indestructible, so it's a free block. And I think this is the right play. You take an extra point of damage, but taking off these Bomat Couriers is the right call. And something that might come up here, the Spell Pierce. I think holding up Spell Pierce might be the right answer, but it looks like they're just going all in. Because blocking here is still kind of iffy. All the burn spells through the damage still hits. And I think you have to take the damage here. What are your thoughts, Grixis?
I think you take the damage. If your Buckaroo gets bolted in some way, you're just in trouble. You've got nothing to carry on from there. You put the Lurrus in your hand, and then that's a whole turn you've taken off as well. So I would just take the 3.
Yeah, and we see kind of the downsides with these Aura decks. There's some games where you just feel unbeatable. But not having a core Spirit Dancer or a Shram means you're really just kind of playing these dorky kind of spells that don't do too much without drawing cards each time. When you have a core, the core would have an extra 4 power from its ability and have drawn you 2 cards. And see, here we get punished.
There it is, the aforementioned bolt. And now this is just a dud of a hand.
We see Mertcan highlighting Den of the Bugbear here, reading all that text, and we might see a Goblin land come into play here. So interesting, the opts to not shock here. That's probably the right call.
Mm-hmm. Oh my god.
The 1 of Torbran. So the thing is, we can see the Selfless Savior protecting the Lurrus. I think it might be worth shocking in here, playing Luris, play the dog, and then Arcane Flight up on the Luris, just to have a way to get
I
him life.
agree.
Because then you throw Sentinel's Eye on it, or just keep recycling the Selfless Savior. Okay, opting to not.
But everything is blocked and accounted for, and the Pyromancer can die in this exchange. So it's still not a beautiful attack.
Luris is holding back the Bugbear land. So a nice thing too next turn is they can replay the dog, and with the escape on Sentinel's Eye, get that back as well to give vigilance to Luris. So we're kind of in a game of chicken here. So what we need to see is a burn spell. So a burn spell blows out the Luris and is probably game over. With the trigger on the stack for Indestructible, you shock it. One thing to kind of just keep in terms of the math, there is 2 points of damage hiding out in that desert.
Well, 4 points of damage with Torbrand too.
No, the land's colorless, so it doesn't.
Oh my gosh, you're right. You're right.
Another thing too, just if we would have shocked in there, the Arcane Flight gives +1 power, so they would have been able to take this Torbrand off the table.
That's a good point too. You're right.
We've seen 2 light up the stages from Gustavo. Okay, Shram is a big
All
pick.
right. Now we are cooking.
All right. Now we're going to see some wheels turn. So you start off, you should have started off with Selfless Savior, I think. If they did have, well, I guess they had the shock.
Cartouche. I was thinking Cartouche over the Savior.
The only thing is with Cartouche is you're still dead to any burn spell. I think keeping Luris just active is the correct play. With Indestructible, you can't lose. Like, you just have a protected lifelinker. Because now you have to get rid of the Selfless Savior doing this line.
As soon as I saw the escape pop up and realized the Savior's exiled, that is very sketchy. Yep.
And like the Spell Pierce just doesn't have text at this point of the game. Mono Red's not going to chain together enough spells. Like, it may not matter, but I think the optimal line there is just like the safest play is playing out the dog there. Likely doesn't matter in the end, because dog would have died there, but you would have had another way to get Indestructible.
Oh, Pierce.
Oh, you know what? I spoke too soon. Pierce did hit him, and that probably is game over at this point.
No, first strike on that Luris. So that could kill the Torbrand.
Oh, no, I'm saying like game over for the mono red player.
Ah, yeah, that makes sense.
We're in garbage time. And now we're seeing the core, so enough snuck by. I generally not like Chain Whirler in a lot of these decks. The deck that it should be the best against, like something typically that you think like Elves, it often just doesn't do enough because the Elves have all the Lords. We're not seeing as much Goblins running around in Historic, so it doesn't hit that. So it's not hitting that much with the 1 damage to each creature.
I really dislike it in this matchup. I really dislike it here.
Yeah, because we're going to see they took out the Adantos for the Cerulean Drakes, which, again, like in this list here, they're only playing 2 Bone Crusher Giants. So notably, the Bone Crusher Giant stomp gets around the protection, but a Cerulean Drake can just be game over. It can,
yep.
Be all end all. Out of the mono red deck, if we quickly take a look. In the sideboard, we see 4 Roiling Vortex, likely not this matchup. Some Ratchet Bombs is interesting, as well as 1 of a Cronin War. I've liked a Cronin War in some numbers in my mono red decks. It's a good mirror breaker in like the creature matchups, Gruul, Company, stuff like that, to kind of break parity. But I think like we're likely just going to see the Cronin War and maybe the Chandras come in. Ratchet Bomb's also interesting just to take off Horus. Oh, this hand is a keep.
This hand is wild.
Like if you ever wanted the Shuffler. Oh my god. Okay, so if you could say what 4 cards you'd want in your opening hand. Oh, the Ratchet Bomb! The only card to get around it.
Wow.
Oh. Interesting, they didn't put a counter on the Ratchet Bomb. They missed it.
The only 0 is the token off Cartouche, yeah?
Yeah, the only 0 is that. But with Cerulean Drake on the table, you'd want to prioritize it. Like, Gustavo doesn't know that Mertcan has 4 Cerulean Drakes in hand. Now, I think if you're Mertcan, you commit the second Drake, and then you can go offense, defense. Because I want to keep these auras for when you do draw one of your core type effects.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about putting all this onto the Drake. I mean, the incentive here could be like, yeah, go ahead, use your Ratchet Bomb, and then you just go Drake.
Yeah, I guess that kind of plays out. You're more mana efficient this turn, but you could still done just play out like Drake and the 1 mana aura. Interesting lines.
Missing that tick on the Ratchet Bomb there, that's a 4 damage miss.
Yeah. This could have been off the table right now, and now we see Bomat not being able to attack the hand from Gustavo. So notably, though, if they do have Stomp, they could get around the protection here. But again, playing only 2 Stomps. Feel like I would rather be playing 4 Bone Crushers before any number of Goblin Chain Whirlers.
Yep, absolutely.
When in doubt, play Eldraine.
That sounds about right, yeah. There's probably a card in Eldraine that does it better than the thing you're doing.
It got to the point where so far... Do you know what the card Emberth Paladin is? And what it does?
I do not.
It is an uncommon 4 mana, 4/1 with the... I don't even remember what the mechanic is called. But if you pay 3 red in its casting cost, it enters with a counter. So it's effectively... And haste. So it's a 4 mana, 5/2 haste that actually is very good against Sultai Ultimatum. So I was playing that in my sideboard against Sultai Ultimatum in mono red. So like Eldraine always has a card. Just check your draft box. There's something that is playable.
There's something from Eldraine that's probably pretty good.
So a card here that might actually come in handy is this Rampaging Ferocidon. Something to not kind of forget. The Menace can be useful to just attack through. Shutting off the life gain of Lurrus is also meaningful. And ooh, this is a big card in the matchup.
Soul Scar is very nice. It really invalidates the Selfless Savior.
And it was interesting we saw them prioritize getting Lurrus going over just getting these Drakes.
I was wondering about that as well.
No, this is just a big attack. I think this is fine. Play the Bomat. If they want to trade the Savior, you're ahead on board.
Is this triple bird turn? This is a triple bird.
I said a bird, bird, bird. Bird is the word. Hopefully Jaffer's on the back end playing some Peter Griffin. Bird is the word.
Imagine if this mattered. Why? Why does that matter?
It's not targeted. Is it?
But it's damage. Yeah, but it's damage.
It's still damage. That? Okay, I need to read this.
I need to read Chain Whirler now, because it's damage. Damage should be... Oh, minus counters! Oh my god, they're minus counters!
Oh!
They're minus counters, it's not damage.
Okay, so how that works, for those of you who aren't familiar, and I play a lot of mono red, and I forget, you know what, I talked I talked poorly of Chain Whirler. Chain Whirler just won that. Soulscar Mage. Let's pull up the wording. If a source you control would deal non-combat damage to a creature an opponent controls, put that many -1/1 counters on that creature instead.
Instead, replacement effects.
All right, someone pull up official rulebook, subscript 7, paragraph 3.2. All right, so I guess I owe a formal apology to one Goblin Chain Whirler. I thought you were terrible. But yeah, similarly, Bone Crusher Stomp would have also done some work there.
It would have only killed. It would have only killed one birdie bird.
No, but likely what happens there is in the attack they go to blocks, and then
you're right.
You stomp, and then the stomp gets around.
Mono red just beat 4 Cerulean Drakes. Someone put that in the book. In the book.
You know, this is kind of karmic justice, because last time I played in a Cheeseporium, Grande Cheese, Cheesapalooza tournament, Mertcan bet me twice, both going into top 8 and in top 8, and not only beat me, absolutely ran the floor with his or hers. It was like a Golgari Auras constellation deck. Okay, we see the Tri-Drake here. But we have the Soulscar on 1.
We do have Soulscar.
All right. Do they take the block? Okay.
I don't see why you don't.
So I think that's a free kind of attack there. There might be some hesitation to block, not understanding. Like if there's some confusion, like with us, we all kind of messed that up in terms of the ruling. So that could kind of come in. We see here, so there's some potential hesitation running out another Drake. One thing you could do here is with the Heliod's Punishment, it takes off the effects of Soulscar Mage. We're catching up to the chat with the slight delay, and they're letting me have it. They were saying Chain Whirler. Okay, so we see a core here. There is no protection effects, so and we are missing a land. I think I like running out the core here, but even then, with core, there's the Ratchet Bomb up.
But you have the Luris to get the core later. I like core, play a Sentinel Eye, draw a card, kind of force the issue with the Ratchet Bomb.
Yeah. I think that's the line. Because you can't really afford to miss out on line drops here.
Alternatively, none of that.
We are in the eternal stalemate. All right.
Oh.
We got the dog god.
I was going to say punishment, but Ratchet Bomb.
So Hazaret can just start throwing miscellaneous cards at our opponent's face. And Mertcan's kind of in an awkward spot, just with Ratchet Bomb also on 2. Like, I think you need to force the issue with this Ratchet Bomb.
I think so too.
You can't commit these Heliod's punishments. You want to draw to your 5th land to potentially play Luris and something else, or find some protection for it.
I like Spirit Dancer, Sentinel Eye. It kind of says, hey, I can block your Hazaret. You need to do something about my team. And that forces, that really does force the bomb. And then you can recover from that with the punishments and the other Drakes and the Luris, but that's now being cast.
It's interesting. So Luris dies to Stiff Breeze here. And you'd have to assume the mono red player is holding some number of burn-based spells. Are they going to take the Ratchet Bomb up? Oh, they just cracked the bomb here.
I think that's the play, I think.
I see
Maybe
no
not.
I see no harm in holding it until the following turn, at least. Like, you
That's
get in for the attack
brutal.
here, but they're only... Oh, I don't like that. I like holding the shock there.
Getting rid of the shock, though, is an extra several damage.
Oh, you know what? They couldn't attack with Hazoret if they didn't shock.
Yeah,
I
that's what I was
like
thinking too.
I like the shot holding the shock, and I think I almost not attack with Hazoret here, because now this core is just gonna stonewall the table. We see an unsummon.
It's no
One
Vapor
man.
Stag, but all right.
Again, I think I prefer. Well, I guess at 8 life you need to be mindful. But I was gonna say I think I prefer targeting the Soul Scar Mage just because this Chandra's minus now reads core gets -4, and we're gonna be attacked in for 4 damage. Vigilance doesn't matter when you're at negative power. All right, so how big can core get?
Or is plus? Yeah, okay, there it is. +2.
So we can take Chandra down at least. Dog's interesting as well, but given that Soul Scar is on the table, Heliod's punishment, to my knowledge, does remove Soul Scar's
I think it
abilities.
does. I think it gets rid of just abilities, not necessarily activated.
Uh, Pulling up Heliod's here.
Loses all abilities.
abilities. So Soul Scar becomes a 1/2 vanilla. So the options this turn, I think I like going Heliod's punishment, Selfless Savior, hold up on summon, potentially.
I like that too.
Actually, All Seed's not terrible. No.
I really like
so
that unsummon.
All Seed's actually at a premium right now because... Actually, not. Because Soul Scar doesn't count now. So Selfless is better. Because Selfless will protect with Indestructible. All Seed's better when you have an active Soul Scar because you can give Pro Red to get around it. Okay, so we just don't see the Unsummon here.
What is the power toughness on that land?
It's 3/2, I believe.
Thank you.
And then, again, keep in mind... Oh,
but Soul Scar is so we've got Selfless Savior to protect Alcide.
it doesn't matter. Oh, no, wait, it does. Soul Scar doesn't count here.
Yep.
Okay, so something to keep in mind. There's 2 points of burn in the land. So this All Seed needs to do work. All that glitters off the top would be huge here. Not a land. Cartouche isn't bad.
Cartouche is really good with the Alcide, I think.
What you're looking for, though, is some sort of vigilance.
Cartouche is vigilance.
No, Cartouche is first strike.
Is it not? Oh, it's a token. Oh my goodness.
A lot of keyword soup on some of these auras.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think this turn you do play out the Selfless. And I almost think it's worth just with All Seed attacking in to gain 2 life here.
I agree. You don't want to be lightning strikeable.
And then play out Selfless Savior and hold back on Summon. Big draw step here. It puts in so much work for a 1 mana spell.
It's really good. I don't play a lot of creature decks, so I really don't see its static as like a thing that shows up often because I'm usually just playing control. So it's
As
neat to actually watch it.
having played probably close to 500 games of Burn in Historic and Best of One, and running up against a fair share of Angel decks, let me tell you, being able to just shrink down those 4 toughness creatures,
Huge.
huge.
Not huge anymore. Now they're 1/1s.
That, you throw down a Ferocidon, and now my little dorks can keep up with the Angels. So we have 5 cards in hand from the Aurus player, but nothing to really kind of pump up the jams. And I think what this is just... Ooh, Lightning Strike.
That's awkward.
Would you unsummon your own All-Seed here?
I think I would, but I'm a very person. At 5 life against mono red, to me, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna die. So I would save the Elseed.
Because Hazoret can attack next turn and activate its ability. Okay.
Well, we have our answer.
It's definitely like an iffy line. Okay, so this next turn is pretty much the game, I would say. We have lethal in the air. We'll see if they hold up the Unsummon or play out the dog. I'd be cautious, just hold up the Unsummon.
I like the Unsummon.
Well, actually, Hazoret can attack this turn. It's just freed from its prison. Alright, so the god is free. They can throw a spell from their hand for 2 damage, but if that card in hand is not an answer to a flyer, and notably though, none of the flyers can really be targeted in a way. Soulscar's still in prison.
Yeah, that's true. It's very awkward.
May have forgotten first strike there. Oh, yeah. Staggering Insights on top of everything.
That's a very nice draw. You just put that on anything, really.
Oh, you put it on core, gain. That on core represents 3 more life, making core itself a lethal threat. Draw. So 2 mana plus 3/3 lifelink on your creature. Draw 3 cards. Probably a playable Magic card.
Yeah, I think that's all right.
So one of the changes we've recently seen as well, and it kind of goes back and forth. So white's always the base color in these Aurus decks. We've seen a mix of blue and white. Black and blue as the splash color. The black allows for more grindy versions, and I think it's better in a heavier creature meta when you can have Aurus to kind of kill your opponent's creature. But they don't scale as well in terms of making big creatures. Having like the evasion and flying, as well as the life gain that the blue version provides, is huge, I find. Okay, so Odd Eyes was on the play, and we saw Selfless Savior into Core Spirit Dancer, which is big. But Mertcan has a really nice hand here, and we're going to see the difference where going a Core Spirit Dancer into Shram, into some Auras, can potentially have them just outdraw.
How relevant is swing first, do you feel?
Vigilance is the biggest factor, and this is a big thing too. We see the Staggering Insight here. So being able to gain life helps that race quite a bit. Because if you have Vigilance, you can play offense, defense.
Yep.
But the life gain here, especially just with double blue up, you generally want double white, like before you want double blue.
Yeah.
But I believe Odd Eyes was on the heavier blue base, so it might not be too terrible. Yeah, like what we might see is but like I feel like if you have the start like Mantle, you don't necessarily play it at flash speed because you want the extra damage to come in that turn. The hexproof doesn't matter in this matchup. Yeah, this is okay. They're opting to just load up core here and then go staggering next turn. I think I'd start with the life gain.
You think so?
Because if so, is Odd Eyes on? Like it just helps with the race, right? Like
It does.
even just gaining. Because Odd Eyes is on 4 all that glitters, so if they went Starlit into that, like they could take a big chunk out of your life. Uh, 2 all that glitters out of Mertcan's list. So this is actually quite interesting because we get to see how these different configurations and really awkward mana here. 3 islands out of Odd Eyes.
That is really unfortunate. Yep.
That looks like game.
Yeah, with the flying there and the lack of flying there, it's yeah.
All right, so a quick one. Ooh, an Aether Tunnel. Just to add insult to injury, but no bad manners here. Mertcan sees lethal, swings in for lethal with Xaxes.
I know it's open deck list, but you still don't want to remind your opponent like there is an Aether Tunnel here because you never know who's going to forget what.
Yeah.
So, gotta hold the Aether Tunnel.
I think in this matchup, like you're bringing in punishments, the unsummon, the entrancing melody. Spell Pierce is iffy. Could be something you bring in. Also, depending how much you want to play, like control, veto could be tempting, but I feel like you tap out a lot in these matchups.
Yeah, I think Spell Pierce is just the better choice. The over veto.
Yeah, and I personally would probably cut the Selfless Saviors and play more interaction.
Like you're thinking the Selfless Saviors come out for more Spell Pierces?
Probably on the play, because you need to be like if you could tempo them out, right? Like you're always playing second, so they're gonna get to their auras before you. Yeah. So if you can tempo them out a turn and kind of break that parity of having your core bigger, it could help. One thing, so out of Odd Eyes, they do have the 2 Settle the Wreckages, which is huge in this matchup.
That is going to be big. That,
I think I would like the more counter spells.
Yep, that makes sense. It's interesting.
I actually, this is an interesting hand. Yeah,
I'm greedy. I'm thinking, you know, you can turn like if they've kept one of those hands that really, and it looks like a mulligan here. If they've kept a hand that really relies on the Spirit Dancer, and you can turn it off on turn 2, that's fantastic.
Now, how much of that is just because you're a control player at heart and you see 2 removal spells in your opener?
It's entirely that. What do you mean? How much of that? The whole thing is that.
You're like, I have a 1/1 creature. That's my win con.
Yeah. Slowly over the course of 57 turns.
My win con is your sadness.
Do you punish this? Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Given their hand, if they had a core, they probably prioritize getting the core out to draw cards, especially on a mulligan.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So here you kind of buy yourself 4 turns of fog. And then you can always punish them further with the next Heliod's punishment.
You could punish them again just to see it with 6 counters on it.
I might, just in case they had the core. You still have 2 turns to decide that. And in the meantime, you're gaining 4 life a turn, which is great.
Oh, absolutely.
All Seed low-key just buffing itself here. Okay, so now it gets a bit interesting. The All Seed, but you're probably just attacking in here. If they don't block, you get to draw an extra card.
Mm-hmm.
And then they could still off the Ornithopter anyways. So they're in a tough spot.
Yes. This Alcid is it's quite a threat they've presented.
I always find this matchup humorous because you have the most like innocuous creatures just becoming the most buff things around.
Look at that.
The stack. Just massive here. Spell Pierce is big too.
It's interesting. It's a good move to whittle the 4 down rather than take the last one off, because you don't want it to be in the bin for use later.
Yeah. I guess you're pretty safe. Like if they take out the All Seed here, then you play Luris and rebuy some of those auras. I apologize if my dog is growling in the background and is coming through. It's a combination of no attention as well as 5 o'clock art. Like Eastern is her dinner time.
What if you had sacrificed the Alseid to give Core protection from black, and then what am I doing? I'm just like making things up. This is not possible. Ignore me. I was like, you could just cast all those auras from the graveyard right away. But there's other steps to that process, so that made no sense.
Yeah, at this point it's pretty uphill. And this is like one of the constraints with auras is the hands where you're all in on that one threat. You see a lot of mulliganing that has to take place. And if you don't have that critical mass of both auras and creatures,
yep,
it does kind of come back to bite you.
That was a neat play.
Yeah, I wonder if Odd Eyes kept this hand based on having whatchamacallit, settle the wreckage in hand. Like I know they were all in on the Ornithopter, but could be something.
Yeah, no, that's definitely possible.
All that glitters on Luris here. It's actually pretty sweet. Presents 2 lethal attackers or close to.
Yep. Yep, Arcane Flight.
We done here, folks?
Pack it up.
In this matchup, only one player really got to play, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yep. Did you have fun in the match? You did have fun.
Everyone loves auras.
Said no one ever.
Everyone always.
I'm still trying to figure out why it is people are going back to Azorius auras versus the Orzhov. I get that you can make your creatures unblockable with Ether Tunnel, but being able to have that, like Orzhov, it was so annoying with Orzhov auras, because even though that you killed the creature, it would come back.
Yeah, I hate it. I hated it so much. Yeah, it was just having the Luris always come back with. Oh my gosh, what was that card called?
Hello?
What was the card called that always brought it back when it died? You would have to kill it twice. Oh, that was so annoying. Yeah, I hated that. It was the worst part about auras. Elite Spellbinder is a pretty good card. Anything that's going to tax auras, especially on the daily, is really rough. There's nothing that auras can really do at that point because they rely on just drawing a ton of cards. Dang, throwing out the easy GG. Arcane Flight, all right. Doesn't matter. Don't care. I don't know what the GG was for exactly.
See the mic, cannot hear you guys.
Is it a concede? I can't tell if it was a concede. Yeah, I'm not sure who can hear who, but I'm just going to keep talking. So it looks like Hearsay may be having issues hearing us, but I can hear him regardless. So I don't think, there's no blocking. Oh, Skyclave. Or Selfless Savior. Selfless Savior is really good here. They got Scary Eyes. So Sentinel's Eyes is pretty nice because it's always reoccurring, right? And it gives vigilance, so you have infinite blockers. The Archon helps a ton. Okay. All right, do you unsummon the Archon? And you can unsummon the Archon. So you can cast other things.
There we go.
But it
Now I
doesn't
can hear
seem
you.
like you need to. Doesn't seem like you need to. But you can definitely do it at the end of their turn, shocking that land. 6/6 right now. That's okay. They block it.
6/6, first strike,
block.
vigilance, lifelink. That's a big shram.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do. And anything that happens, even if there is a flyer, it just gets unsummoned.
Yeah, and has protection. Good game. Good game.
Yeah. Was it a good game?
They need to fill their hand up. That's a top deck. Staggered Insight will wrap this up nicely. Like a bow on Christmas. It's wrapped up.
Like a boat?
A bow!
Oh, that makes sense.
How do you hear
makes
boat
way more
in
sense.
Christmas?
I don't know. I'm like, I don't know. It's a boat for Christmas. Who knows? Who knows? Oh my gosh, 6/8. 6/8's devastating. How are you gonna? You can't do anything with that. Oh, there's Skyclave Apparition. There is still no third land. There's still no third land.
There's no third.
No.
And here we thought that Auras was going to get land screwed. All right, this is game. Here's GG's. Give it flying. Give it lifelink.
Oh, and this is going to be a top deck all the glitters. Top deck glitter. Can I get a glitter? Glitter? No. Glitter?
No glitter. They don't need it. They don't need it.
Oh yeah, they don't. But there's no.
Yeah, Ethereum has heard it through the grapevine. It's written on the wall.
Yeah.
I just mixed two different songs together. It was okay.
It's all right. I didn't know the songs anyway. It's fine. You probably sung them beautifully. Oh, okay. So sideboards. What did we just take? We took out. What did we just take? I missed.
They took out the
Vanguards.
It looks like they took out the Vanguards. They took out. What did they add in? They added in the Unsummon. That is weird.
I mean, it kind of makes sense. Maybe? No, doesn't make sense. I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. I got nothing.
Alrighty. We are rooting for you.
This is an odd keep. Oh, deafening silence! Hello! What? How do you game 2 deafening silence?
So
every single time. Every single time.
Prediction game 3.
And the turn 2 Thalia. Every single time. I mean, that's.
I mean, now you just have to now this hope is like we need to gain as much life as possible. Oh my goodness!
No.
One spell a
Right.
not only now it's not only one non-creature spell a turn, but now it's just one spell a turn no matter what. And your non-basic lands come in tapped. And your mana is now taxed by casting once more.
Yeah.
All that glitters.
Glitter.
It's all that glitters. It's all that glitters.
Oh, we fancy. We fancy. It's a race. But I mean, come on, lifelink.
That's a movie. That's a movie, right? Glitter.
I mean, are you thinking cats?
No, I'm not thinking cats. Okay, so now you gain 7. You have a play your land tapped.
All right. I mean, I don't. What do you wait? What does Aether Tunnel do? Nice Giant Killer.
Unblockable. Unblockable.
Oh, Trancing Melody. Do you take the? What do you take anything? What do you do here? Do you put Luris in your hand? Yes, you do. Apparently,
yeah.
It sucks because you play Luris and you can't do anything, and then you still can't block the Talia because it's first strike.
I think it's written on the wall here. Let's see though.
Oh, yeah, that's.
So Core Dancer, but that's your one spell a turn. I think you have if you're going to
3, 4.
Yeah, if you're going to Entrancing Melody, I think you have to take the Archon, right? Because they're just gonna hit you with the flyer in the air, even if you start creating blockers.
Yeah. That's your only option, right? Melody is permanently, right?
Let's see.
Is it? I don't even remember now. It's been so long since I've even seen. Gain control of target creature with mana value X.
So you just gain control of it.
Yeah. All right. So
El Permanente.
Could block the Faceless Haven. Get some 3 life, except to the +1/+1 on the Faceless. Oh no, just kidding. You just take 7 here, right?
I would have swung with
6,
everything. I would have swung with everything. You know, Thalia has first strike.
Yeah, 100%. It's not like you're threatening Settle the Wreckage.
With open deck list, you know it's not there.
Ooh.
I don't know if Vanguard's a little too late. And you can only one spell here. So with Luminar Aspirant going down, I probably would have put the counter on the Archon. Because then you would have got extra damage.
Your only option, right?
I mean, you need to gain as much life as possible. But I would just, if I was Ethereum, I'm just swinging in the air. You have a 2-turn clock.
Yeah, exactly.
So either you need to make Luris fly.
Or you take
gotta take the flyer, or even take the flyer. I think it's GG. Giant Killer still taps something down.
Yeah, the problem is it doesn't untap. So yeah, you have to take the killer. Yeah, Entrancing Melody doesn't untap the creature. Or give it haste. 2 things we don't like. Yeah, and they just open swing. You're gonna lose.
I would have put it on again. I would have put it on the. I mean, it's written on the wall, but I would have put in the counter on the flyer. You're getting in for 3 guaranteed damage.
Yeah, but I don't think it would have mattered.
Well,
Saving your Faceless Haven is probably good.
What I'm saying though is that the game could have been overturned before, right? So they put a counter on Thalia and a counter on Faceless.
Yeah, the turn before, yeah.
Double block the Haven. That's still lethal. Oh no, lifelink. Duh.
Yeah. All right, we need a Wrath of God. Okay, that's not going to do anything. That's good. See, this is why you need Settle the Wreckage in your aggro decks. Always. Always settle the wreckage.
Settle the wreckage. Instant board wipe for the opponent. This is it's shaping up to be a good game, though. You know, we're into game 3.
Yeah, this is nice. Ooh, that's rough. They're looking. They're looking.
They're like, honestly, you know what it was though? It was deafening silence. Turn 1 deafening silence.
And then turn 2 Talia. It's just like combination of the 2s.
That 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 was just absolutely gas.
And then the Giant Killer after that.
Yeah.
And then the Faceless Haven. It was literally the perfect every single turn.
You couldn't have drawn it up better, Chief. You couldn't have drawn it up better.
No. It was easy clap.
Easy clap. What are you doing? You keeping?
Not when you go first. This one you definitely keep.
Throw back the unsummon. I think I would keep the unsummon because of Thalia, right?
Yeah, probably. Throwing back a glitter. Interesting.
I think I would have threw back the. I think I would have threw back the Shram.
Yeah, Saran Wrap goes down for sure. That's another good card. I like the cartouches because they're very cheap.
Yeah. When I first started,
bait?
baffling end, getting rid of that Sulfane wrap.
All right, Core Spirit Dancer. Easy draw. If there's another baffling end.
Ooh, Spellbinder. Probably gonna go for the Melody. Yeah. Feels bad, man. 4 mana, five mana minimum to take something.
Yeah. Okay. Yep, Cartouche, easy blocker.
Looking for a land.
Oh. Alright, so now you just unsummon the Spellbinder, right?
No, why would you you can't unsummon the Spellbinder. I would unsummon, you gotta unsummon the token, or you're probably gonna save it for the Faceless Haven.
It was a joke, but yeah. Can you, wait. Yeah, you can unsummon, because it's just target creature, right? Oh my god.
It's target creature, yeah.
Getting that staggering insight. That's devastating. Oh no, Savior.
Oh my goodness.
There's no Arcane Flight. You block that. Yeah, you block that life gain for sure. Like instantly.
Yeah,
block.
you need...
We do have another Cartouche. Do you unsummon the Savior? No.
6 damage flying though. You need to...
Alright, you
Mertcan
needs sure.
Yeah, Ether Tunnel needs lifelink right now.
I'm just
looking for lifelink, looking for a land.
We got
Ram Wrap. No takeout lunches here. We don't need Shram Wrap.
Yeah, see, I think I would have Aether Tunneled for sure. I guess keeping up the unsummon makes sense.
It's the unsummon because you're getting hit in the face in the air.
Yeah. If they play, actually, I don't know how that interaction works. If they play the Skyclave Apparition and you unsummon it before the ability goes off, does it still exile?
It exiles and you don't get anything.
Okay.
So right. Yeah, you don't want to do that because they still get to target a thing, and then you lose it and you don't get a creature for it.
Okay. Yeah, because I know that with the enchantments that do that, like all the bindings, all that stuff.
Yeah, you can
not binding in the old gods, but like Ixalan's binding and stuff like that. You can bounce it before it happens, and you still have all this stuff. Oh, we gotta unsummon that.
Rough. I mean, and they're also, this is turn 4, and they're still stuck on 2 lands. And Thalia comes down. I think it's written on the wall again. Oh, in Glacial Fortress, there's no plains or island down, so it comes in tapped. Feels bad, man.
This is why I hate pathways. Pathways are like so annoying to me. Oh my gosh, another flyer. All right, yeah,
not just any flyer, but it's an Archon. GG. That is GG.
Yeah, the GGs. There's no lifelink. Yep, all of the answers. Mono white too strong.
Strong.
But missed all the land drops too. That was unfortunate.
Missed all the land drops. Tap land
Another
came in.
God draw by mono white. God draw mono white.
Hashtag GG.
Yeah. Nice. Well, congratulations to Ethereon.
Pulling out, losing the game 1 and just coming back and saying, no. Game 2 and 3 is all me, baby. Put it in the bank. Count it.
Yeah, that wasn't even. That
was never lost focus. Was it Charizard James? Never didn't have it.
Yeah, no, never did not have it for sure. Oh my gosh. Well, yeah, that was an experience.
That was a ride. What a fun, what a top 8. That was a ride. We had a slugfest with Mono White and Izzet, which was a great game.